My name's Jason Alon. I'm from a band called Letlive, and many people already know that the inspiration that I've, I guess, kind of stolen from this man, Michael Jackson, is quite ostensible, pretty apparent. But this record in particular was one that really kind of shaped it for me. It was at a time where I was just really malleable, you know, my musical mind and even my whole aesthetic and personhood really was very malleable. And there's something about Michael Jackson that was like very in your face, but so cool. And the way that he would I mean, obviously everyone knows about his dancing and his actual performance, but the music itself spoke in such volumes that you couldn't ignore it, even if you whether you liked it or not. Obviously most people did like it, being one of the largest selling artists of all time. But this record in particular, I remember seeing the video for Beat It, on MTV or VH1 or something, and it looked like they were about to get into, because so where I'm from is an area where fighting is not uncommon. People fight a lot physically. And in this video, they're in this parking garage, and it looks like they're about to get down, these two gangs about to get down. But instead of beating each other's asses, they end up so and singing, and he's this bad motherfucker on a whole nother level. That was the first time that I felt so empowered in the aggression in pop music I got from Michael Jackson, specifically this record, specifically that song Beat It, specifically the music video. That's kind of the roots of it all for me. I guess it just depends on your approach, but for me personally, aesthetic and the aesthetic value very much ties itself into the sonic value of what you're creating. Like I said, it doesn't always have to be that way, but for me personally, again, this is a man who just was all-encompassing. Everything from the way he looked, to the way he sounded, to the way he moved. Literally, his motions were calculated, and I mean beyond just his choreographed dancing. So, yeah, man, I do think that those things, they marry each other when you're creating art bad. Yeah. I think now that I'm getting older and understanding art and viewing it in a different way, I think that art is so subjective, and the fact that he just reached so many people initially kind of afforded him, an opportunity to do whatever the fuck he wanted. I know that we create art and we share it with people, and people invest in the art in numerous ways, and that is very much appreciated. But in the end, someone like this spent so much time, creating art and doing things that people enjoyed. And I think that when he wanted to switch it up, or when he wanted to do maybe something a little more aberrant to what he was doing initially, people got maybe frustrated, maybe they expected or wanted something. But in the end, man, art is art, and I think he was just trying to be his own artist, so much so that it, kind of ended him in a way. The obsession with continually creating art and perfecting it really did get him to a place where his body physically couldn't take where his mind and his heart was trying to take him. But I think he did it the right way. On the personal shit, I can't get really into, because I wasn't there, but as an artist, he's one of the greatest ever. Yeah. I was in the back of a boutique that I was working at. I was managing the online sales for a boutique in Los Feliz, in Los Angeles. I was sitting at the desk, and I got a text message from one of my friends. They told me, and we had a show that night, and I canceled the show because I was so fucked up. It was just at a friend's house and shit, but yeah, it was I'll never forget it. Looking at my phone, I had a BlackBerry at the time. BlackBerry, I think it was a BBM, the BlackBerry Messenger shit. And I checked it, and I was nah. And I got on the computer, which was right in front of me, and looked it up. And sure enough, yeah, there was reports of him being taken to, it was UCLA hospital and passing away there. So I clocked out of work early, got written up, cruised over to the hospital. There's legions of people. There's so many people, you couldn't really get anywhere. But yeah, I just wanted to, in some weird fan fanatic way, you know, be there to kind of say thanks, you know, at the memorial and stuff like that. So yeah, I was too poor when I was younger, and then as I got older, like the This Is It tour, like that was, I was gonna go to that, but that never happened. So nah, but I did go see the movie This Is It at a really expensive theater to make myself feel better about it. I paid a lot of money to sit in these big leather couches and have food served to me while I watched this movie with one of my friends. But nah, I never got to see him, unfortunately. I loved it, man. It just made me want to like make more music and make more art and like stop worrying about being considered like a crazy motherfucker. Like you know, like you get a glimpse, you get to glean like where that was coming from, where that what I consider to be genius, where that was coming from. And when you're that incredible as he was, like some other things get compromised, you know, like as in being like fully considered normal. And yeah, I was very happy with that film. And that was also cool how they just brought back all members and just like everything from like the way that the floor looked to the actual movements to the actual songs, the way they're played, like everything. He was so meticulous. It was like just, again, it was inspiring. In some ways it was inspiring to be neurotic, which I am, but it made me feel okay about being neurotic, I guess. Yeah.
My name is Jordan, and I'm in a band called La Dispute, and I'm holding a copy of one of my favorite records. It's called The Sun That Never Sets by one of my favorite bands, Neurosis.
Hi, I'm Jeremy from Touche Amore, and I'm here with Backstage Broadcast to talk about a favorite record. I chose The Nationals, the album Trouble Will Find Me.